This is my brief introduction to two-look OLL. The main idea of OLL is to get all the stickers facing up on the last layer. So you've already completed the first two layers. So you'd normally do cross. If you're doing cfop solve, then you do the first two layers. You complete them by making pairs and inserting them. And now the aim is to get all the yellow stickers in this case facing up. If you solved, say, an orange cross, it would be to get all the red stickers facing up. But it's basically all the stickers facing up. OLL stands for Orient, the last layer, and the idea is just to put them the right way up. So there are 4 cases you can get for the first part, because this is two-look OLL. So the first look the aim is to make an entire cross. So get all the edges oriented correctly. You can see this is the first one. There are no edges oriented correctly here. You can have a case where you have an L shape, which is 2 edges oriented correctly. You can have a case where it's a line, where it's these 2 edges oriented correctly. Or you can have a cross, in which case you've solved that first part of the So the algorithm for this is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and that will give you the second case where you've got an L. So you'd orient it so that it looks like an L. You wouldn't have it like that, but you'd make it look like that, and then you'd repeat the algorithm again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and you get the bar. And then to repeat, if you did it a third time, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, you get a full cross. Now there is a little bit of a cheat. So what you can do is you can do that algorithm backwards. So instead of F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, you can do F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. When you get the L case, F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime, and that would take you straight without having to go through the bar. So that is the first of the 2 looks in two-look OLL. It will give you a solid cross on top. It means all your edges are oriented correctly. You should have learnt this from the beginner's method anyway. So that's that. The next step is to solve all of the corners to make them all face up, all the yellow stickers facing up. Now there are a number of different cases you can have here, ranging from no corners oriented, to 1, 2, or all 4. There are 7 cases in total, 6 where you actually have to perform an algorithm, and 1 which would obviously be solved. So the first case is no corners oriented correctly. So what you will have is you'll have 2 headlights and 2 headlights. This is called the headlights case, and you would hold it so that the headlights face in front of you. It doesn't matter if it's this way around with headlights or this way around, as long as they're facing you. If you held it like that, you're going to do it wrong. And it's just repeating the algorithm we've literally learned 3 times, but without the F prime. So F, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then you do the F prime. So instead of doing an F prime and then you'd start off an F, you obviously don't need to do that, because an F and an F prime is the same thing. So that would solve your first case. It would give you all edges oriented. The second no corners case, where you'll see that they're all facing out, this is where you've got 1 set of headlights, but instead of the headlight being headlights on the opposite side, the yellow stickers are facing out. Make up a name for this, call it what you want, but the algorithm for this is a small f, so it's both of these layers, the same again, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then you do an S move, which is just to move this middle layer here, S, which will give you something that looks like that, and then you do R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and that will give you all edges oriented. Now the next case is sune, which is one corner oriented. This can come in two different versions. So in this case, I think this one's antisune. I forget, but the algorithm on this one is L prime, U prime, L, U prime, L prime, U2, L. And you should have learnt that in terms of when you did the beginner's method, you would have used a similar algorithm to correctly put the edges in the right place, as you can see. So in this case, we would do sune. So it would be, instead of doing it on the left, you do it on the right, and it would be R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, and that will give you all edges oriented. Now we move on to where we've got two oriented edges and two misoriented edges. The algorithm for this is R, U, R prime, U prime. You notice R, U, R prime, U prime is a trigger that you've learnt before and that comes up a lot. And then it's R, U prime, R prime, U2, R, U, R prime, U2, R, U, R prime. And that will correctly orient all your corners. The penultimate case is where you have two corners oriented. Instead of having headlights on the previous case, we have the yellow stickers facing out. So you'd hold it like this, and you would do a small r, which is both layers, U, a normal r prime, U prime, a small r prime, so you bring both those layers down, F, a regular r, F prime, and that will give you all solved. And the final two-layer case is where it's very similar to the one we did just a second ago. It's F prime, small r, U, regular r prime, U prime, small r prime, F, regular r, and that will give you all corners oriented. So thanks for watching. As always, in the description I will include all the algorithms written out. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe for similar videos. Also, I'm going through all the PLLs at the moment and showing you those. So check them out, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.